But I think the data still indicates we need a bunch of additional rate hikes. Is it because we're beginning to believe that China has COVID under control? Maybe, but who knows with COVID? How many times have we thought we have beaten it and then the darn thing pops right back? I think it's something else entirely. See, we're finally at the point in the stock cycle, not the economic cycle, but the stock cycle, where the underwriters are no longer pumping out the bilge, these lethal IPOs for which there's no appetite whatsoever. They've stopped flooding us with new supply. Enough money's been lost in the new. Why go back? Why not just go back to the old? Most of the stocks that have become public in the last few years can only be described as abysmal, if not downright disgraceful, especially these miserable, shameful SPACs. You couldn't asterisk their mistakes. In many cases, the whole enterprises were a mistake. Often they should never come public. It was only the greed of the venture capitalists who funded them and the investment bankers who got these great deal cuts that inflicted these deals on you, which is why I spend so much time warning you away from them, even if I became a bit of a scold. The point, though, is that the recent IPOs are falling by the wayside. They're going away. They're dwindling. Sure, you get the occasional rebound like we saw in Chewy, which reported a pretty solid quarter last night, although technically Chewy came public in 2019, much more legitimate than the IPO class from 2021. So many of those companies are simply not going to be given a second chance because they won't have enough money to get back on course, and suddenly a lot more difficult to fundraise. The lack of new, broken the moment you buy it stocks and the horrendous declines in very valuable companies have coalesced to create an environment where Wall Street's willing to overlook some of the imperfections. Not all, but some. Once you realize that you're free to overlook a blemish or two, and because the stocks have been so crushed in anticipation of multiple rate hikes, you can be bold enough to buy a discounted product without much hesitation. I think we've finally reached that level. Bottom line, the asterisk is back. As long as the asterisk in question passes the NVIDIA, Salesforce, Microsoft tests, then you're free to do some buying.